Hello and welcome to this Idiotsplaining bonus episode. This is where we get some behind the scenes, outtakes, and we'll even tell you what's going to be happening next week. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this Idiotsplaining bonus. I don't know if you're able to tell, but there is no script to this episode. This is literally just going to be me talking to a microphone for how long this is going to take. So thank you for joining me on this bonus episode. And yes, we will be telling you exactly what's going to be going on next week in terms of said episode, which we will want your questions for. More details on that a little bit later on. But I thought in this episode, I was going to explain to you or basically give you a bit of a story time on exactly how the podcast episode that you heard last week went on the BBC. Yeah, it did. And it was, do you know what? In my brain, I was still trying to sort of digest everything that was kind of going on. And I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm trying this out. I'm going to see if it works. And if it does, fantastic. I will have gotten where I want to get to in some form. And somehow it did. It's still in my brain. It's still kind of baffling to me. But this is going to be a little bit of a story time. So, if you don't know, last week we had our first episode, which, yes, you can listen back to right now, straight after this, if you like. Or maybe listen to that first and then listen to the bonus, even though there isn't going to be any bloopers from that episode because I didn't save any bloopers. I deleted them. I'm so sorry. It won't ever happen again. Over the course of the last few days, I thought, you know what? I'm going to see if this happens. I'm going to see if this works and see if I can get somewhere close to being on the BBC or anything like that. So they have this scheme at the BBC called BBC Upload, and you can essentially upload any sort of audio or anything at all to the BBC and they may play it on their specific BBC Upload show. So I made the podcast, distributed it on Monday, and then I sent an email on Tuesday just to see, Went through all of the process. Basically, I had to write it down briefly what the podcast was about, what you may hear and sort of stuff like that. And they send you an email of saying, okay, we've got your upload. Thank you very much. We may use it in the next 270 days, I think it was. It's kind of random on how long it was. But 270 days, if we use it, we'll let you know. If we don't use it, then we won't let you know. We'll just keep hold of it for 270 days until maybe we find some way of playing it or we fit it somewhere. I'm not entirely sure. But literally, the next evening, I was doing a few training bits for Radio Folkestone. If you don't know, I am a DJ at Radio Folkestone, a presenter, and I do various sort of behind-the-scenes training and things like that. And so I was training in that evening. I didn't really know anything about this kind of email-y type thing. And I get this email of, we want to put your podcast on the Upload show. And I was thinking, ooh, this is good. Actually, was it Wednesday? I'm going to have to, do you know what? I'm going to have to look at this again because it was either Wednesday or Tuesday that I got the email. Funnily enough, I've still got the email. So I'm just going to scroll. It's quite far down because I get a lot of marketing emails. Oh, it was Tuesday. Sorry. It was Tuesday that I got the email. And I replied on Wednesday. That was it. But it wasn't until Tuesday night. So I had a lot of things going on. So Tuesday night, didn't really know anything that was going on. So I looked at my emails Wednesday morning and found the email. So it was basically an email saying, we're going to play it this week on Thursday. And it's also going to be on repeat. And it will be on BBC Sounds, which you can listen to it, by the way. It's up for the next 30 days or so. It is BBC Upload on the 30th. Or the 30th or 31st? Oh god, in my brain. Do you know what? This is why 30th. I was going to say this is why I end up cutting things out on the on the podcast, because I can't just talk forever and ever. But I'm trying. So I send them the information, and I don't hear anything back. Right? I just send them the information, don't hear anything back, see what was going on. And so while I was doing various bits and pieces for the radio station, I think I had a training thing in that evening, on that Thursday evening. I then hear this.
Of course, Madonna and Vogue.
Get yourself on the BBC. Upload.
Okay, we're going to Folkestone in Kent now. We're going to find Ross Hoare and his podcast, Idiotsplaining. He's a volunteer radio presenter in Folkestone. He's been doing it for 9 years, creates lots of content online as well, has started doing TikTok content quite recently. And the podcast, Ross says, is a comedy educational podcast that explains in a funny way subjects that either he or he gets from listeners. Idiotsplaining is defined in the Urban Dictionary as transcending the unnecessary. That is mansplaining. Idiotsplaining is when a total idiot attempts to explain something to another individual that knows the subject much better than they do. Absolutely brilliant. This is very Pop Will Eat Itself, because the first episode of this particular podcast is called Podcasts. So let's have a listen to it. There we are. We're all a little bit more edumacated, if that is the word, on podcast, thanks to Ross Hoare in Folkestone's Idiotsplaining. That was Series 1, Episode 1. Of course, why wouldn't it be about podcasts themselves? That's absolutely brilliant. He writes and performs all of them on his own. He says, and listeners can submit suggestions to what I explain next. What a really good idea. I love that. So you can get in touch with him if you'd like to. His website is rosshoare.com. So ROSSHOARE.com. And he is Ross Hoare across all of the socials as well. So yes, if you feel like you'd like to get involved and make a suggestion for something that just needs to be explained, it's really good, isn't it? A lot of people know the word podcast and don't know what it entails, but well, now you do. There's plenty more of those, so do go and find him.
And so that was my debut on BBC Radio Kent, and hopefully not for the last time, I hope, anyway. But yes, again, you can listen to it on BBC Sounds. It's all over there. If you want to listen to the first episode of the podcast, as I mentioned, it's right at the very beginning of this. So if you want to go and listen to that, Please, please, please. It is about podcasts. It's only 15 minutes. So it's not that long at all. You can definitely squeeze that into a lunch break or anything like that. It's available anywhere. It's available literally where you're getting this podcast from right now. And do you know what? I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of how many people have listened to the podcast already. And I'm just really glad that you're enjoying it. And unfortunately, that is the bonus episode. Thank you for listening. And once again, if you haven't listened to the first episode, definitely go and listen to it now. It's available wherever you get your podcasts. And yeah, I hope you absolutely enjoy it. Next week is the episode all about smartphones. So if you have questions or if you have anything that you want me to include, basically I do have a question and answer section in the podcast. Do get in touch with me at Ross Hoare on literally every bit of social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well. You can also contact me on rosshoare.com as well. I'll be picking my favourite questions to answer, or in fact all of the questions that I could be answering, and you will appear on the next podcast. Please get those questions in by Thursday. That would be great. And cheers for listening once again. I will see you guys next week. Hello and welcome to this Idiotsplaining bonus episode. This is where we get to see everything that goes on behind the scenes, including outtakes and various story times. Today is in fact story time. So sit back, relax and enjoy this Idiotsplaining bonus. Hello and welcome to this Idiotsplaining... Idiotsplaining? What? Hello and welcome to this Idiotsplaining bonus episode. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at what exactly got on the